KCC0105 for week number 8. This is our second video, and I'm going to talk about how to annotate a graph. So last video, I made this graph based on a blue, it was a long-term index, and the red, which is an average baseline index. And it's a nice graph. We got the labels and everything. This is good. This is good. But we're going to talk about annotating. So for instance, if I make this in Excel and Google Sheets, it's similar. It'll draw up this label on the side. It's not bad, but what if I could get those labels right on top of the graph, directly on top? And so I'll show you how to make that process occur in Google Drawings. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Google graph, and I'm going to get, my Excel graph, and I'm going to hit that, click that legend to the right-hand side. I'm going to delete it because I'm not interested in it here. I'm interested in creating my own on top of the graph. Now, I cannot do that annotation directly in Microsoft Excel, and even if I could, I want the finished product in a graphic. So what I need to do is I need to take this. I need to go down here on my computer. There's this little snipping tool. On PCs, you can hit Control Print Screen, and it'll pop right up. If you have a Mac, there's different keystrokes, but you can do the similar thing. And I can hit click my highlight my image. Click right there, and now that it's copied in my computer. I can actually save it right here if I'd like to. But what I'm going to now do is I'm going to go over to, let's see, right here. I'm going to go to my Google Drive. Everybody has a Google Drive. You know how to get it from your Kindle email here. Click New. Go down to More, and here's a Google Drawing. All right, this is what I want. So my Google Drawing pops up. It's blank right now. Well, guess what? I copied that graph, so I can Control V, and it is now pasted inside of my Google Drawing. So Control V is a paste, and that's how I can do it. Like I said before, you can also save that screenshot and then upload it to the Google Drawing. All right, now this is making a graphic, and we've done this before. We can do stuff like the title. So this is my title. It could be, why is it taking a second here? Oh dear, technical difficulties here. Let's see what's going on. There we go. All right, took a little while, and then it all filled in at the end here. So I could say this is my week number 8 assignment. Well, let's face it. I hope you're going to find a more creative title than week number 8 assignment. Something more descriptive. I'm just doing something to take the place here, and you can make it nice and big, fill up the screen. And I've got the graph right here. But what am I talking about? Annotations. I need to let the reader know that that red line is an average baseline index. So what I do right here to that text box, and let's see. I'm going to separate it. Let's make one label up above here, and so I could say that is the volume index. Because remember, we made the average baseline for the volume of the IBM stock. And now, here's another thing I can do. Here, I can make the color. Let's see, that's a red line, so let's try and match it. See, is that going to be kind of red? Oh, I got to highlight it first. Hey, there we go. I got a red line. Okay, you can play around and get the shade of red correct. But now look at, I've got a red line, a red annotation. Yeah, not so bad. Okay, let's do the same with the blue line. You get the idea here. I'm going to make a text box underneath down here. The blue line represents the price. Let me get the color first. Okay, that looks kind of close, right? The price index. And right now, I've made a graph. I've got a title. You're going to find a more descriptive title. I've got a graph. We made the graph last video. I've got some annotations to let the reader know what are they looking at. So you've got the makings of a solid graphic here. A title, a graph, and then some annotations. Now, the last type of annotation I want to talk about is you're going to look at this and hopefully you have some observations. You say, wow, this goes way up here and the price goes down. So something's happening. Was that early? No, that's late 2014. Okay, how can I draw the reader's attention to that? So up here, if you go to this little shape button, click that arrow, and then you have all these different types of shapes. You could pick an arrow and direct the arrow to that part. I'm going to use a call out, kind of like your good old comic books. And this call out gives me a big old box here, and then this little the arrow on the bottom of the box. I can direct that anywhere I want. So I could just point it right up here. Right, I'll point it right there, kind of in the middle, and then I can go ahead and type it here. In late 2014, the price went down. Maybe the profits are lower than expected. You get the idea. You're going to make annotations for the labels, and you're going to make annotations for some observations. What observations? That's on you. You're going to say, wow, something's going on here. You're going to make a description of maybe what's going on, maybe a little description, kind of bring the reader's attention into the graph, what's going on. Because I don't care about just the numbers. I care about the observations in the numbers. Obviously, I made this in 30 seconds, so it's a very rough sketch here, but this is the idea of what your week number 8 assignment is going to be. A graph with indexes pulled into a graphic annotations for the labels, and annotations for an observation about your graph. If you have more questions about how to accomplish all these sort of things, or the data, or any of those pieces, please send out an email.